Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is your sister and friend Adar, and you're listening to the Digital Sisterhood podcast. In part 1, we had such an incredible conversation about our niqab journeys, about our hijab journeys, about our journeys, our stories in general. And thankfully, bro, the conversation does not end there, bro. It is just beginning. Wait until you hear part 2 of this. We're going to talk about stereotypes. We're going to talk about love. We're going to talk about so much, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear it. So without further ado, this is the Niqaabi's Tell-All, part 2. Let's talk about stereotypes. It's a spicy talk because there's a lot of various stereotypes with the
hands like Birdman.
Again, I see Fatima rubbing her hands like I'm ready to get into this topic.
No, this is a big one.
This is a big one because guys, okay, can I start with me? So one stereotype that I cannot stand about niqabis is that like we have no personality.
Yeah,
You're a wall.
You're a wall. Like it's literally like you got nothing to say. Yeah. You got nothing to say.
You're not a person.
You're not a person, and you wear niqab because you don't have a personality. You know, like that's the most interesting thing about you. And it's like, and I see it all the time, especially in like if you're in academic space. Like I see it all the time because I wasn't a niqabi in university, but there was a girl that was a niqabi in our class, and people would say, "Oh, does she even like?"
Can she read?
That was the notion. Like,
no, I had somebody say like, "Do you speak English?" in the hospital.
Yes.
They literally
my
made the figure of the
God.
paper and said, "Do you understand the paper?" And I said, "Ma'am, proceeding. You want me to speak formal? Fam? I got you. I can read the damn paper."
I got it from the bus driver. Ma'am, do you know how much you're supposed to? Brother, I'm born in St. Joseph's Hospital. If you don't get it together, I was so mad. Well, I guess the whole bus knew which hospital and which room I told the guy the room I was born in. 2117, Dr. Giovanni, Nurse Nancy. Try me one more time.
Oh, you really know everything.
I got so mad. The whole bus driver looked at me. Guess what? The bus I was on was bus 52. So there are Somali people on there looking at me saying, "Nanaga Amos." Like, shut up. Like, they're looking at me like, why is she doing too much? But I was so, at that point, I was like really frustrated. I was like, come on, like, let's leave the bigotry at home. Like, let's leave it at home. Let's leave the ignorance at home. But like, they love to try you, you know? And obviously, I'm a new niqabi, so I have so much energy. Like, I have so much energy to check people. But I know, like, if you look at niqabis 10 years in, they're all very more calm. They're like, it's a regular Wednesday. You'll get used to it. Get used to bigotry? I can't.
You have to clap back, fam.
Oh my God, my clapback is too much. I feel like I'm the shade room. Like every day I'm just going
TMZ, fam. I do it back.
And another thing.
And another. It's just too much. Well, can I tell you something that really, really traumatized me when I started working in niqab? Was like obviously like when you wear a cloth or like a niqab on your face, it's not you don't immediately realize like, hey, you're not really liked outside, so watch your back. You know, I was watching my back like a black woman in the hood, right? Like I was looking every now and then, you know, but like the level of like awareness I had now wearing niqab was kind of wild, right? For example, my first week out here, I was told, I was checked. Like, I was like, then I realized, I was at a park I used to go to since I was 14 years old, right? I feel like I own this park. I grew up at this park. Nothing scares me in this park. I know everybody in this park. You know what I'm saying? I grew up here. I'm just there with 2 other sisters doing a project, and those sisters, like, went to go somewhere else, and I was sitting at a bench beside a bridge, okay? Water bridge. Like, if I fall off this bridge, I'm dead. Like, you know? But I'm just chilling there because this is my block. I'm just gonna do anything. I wasn't even thinking.
Are you done?
Guess what? I was chilling, fam, not watching my back. I was just just looking at the water, mashallah. Some guy came out of nowhere.
Well, that's regular.
Aggressively tapped my shoulder. But I was in that area by myself.
Oh.
That's the part that scared me because I was by myself. Again, like, this is my block. Like, this is where I'm from. So he tapped my back. It was a brother. It wasn't a brother. It was a white. It was some guy, some stranger on a bike with a bubble jacket on. And I didn't know he had alcohol in his breath until he came close to me. And he said to me, "Why the hell are you wearing that in this country?"
Wow.
And I just looked at him, my eyes pulled back, guys. Like, I was like, I cannot believe this is happening right now. Like, I was in froze mode, okay? And I'm looking at him like, he's like, "Are you deaf?" I said, "Am I deaf? Are you serious right now?" And I'm moving back. And the bridge thingy, the thing is right behind me, okay? I'm recognizing this guy could very much chuck me over this right now. You know, like, what's stopping the guy chuck me over this thing? I'm looking at him. He's like, you know this country? You know how long it took us to get in this country? And obviously realizing he's an immigrant himself. So he's like, you're ruining it for us in this country. You're ruining us. And he had like an accent. And I'm looking at him. I said, ruining what? And then I started to, and then thank God, my friends came out of nowhere. So what's going on here? And he looked at me. He saw more of us. He got scared. He's like, what? There's so many of you. What is this? You came in this country, you're still clothed like this? And we said, yo, you better like get to stepping. But after that, guys, I went home traumatized. I went to my room staring at the ceiling, thinking, oh my God, I can't move like ignorant Sally outside. Like, I have to actually look back and to the left and to the right. And that that scared me a little bit, yo. I'm not even gonna lie. That was like a reality check. I was like, damn, like wearing a hijab, a jilbab to this was like a degree. Like, I had never been encountered that way ever before. So like to see that, I was like, and that same week, I went to the Apple store to buy a MacBook computer. Bruh, I was also like basically discriminated in the Apple store by Apple employees. And apparently, guess what? And then Fats told me, yo, that's something that happens a lot with Niqaabis in the Apple store. And basically what they did was, I was there to buy an expensive laptop, right? And they're coming in there, and I came in there, I'm wearing a niqab, this is COVID time. And the manager comes up to me, he says, put on your face mask. And I looked at him like this, and I said, how do you know I'm not wearing one?
First of all, face covering fulfills the legal requirement of a face mask.
Guess what he said to me? He said no.
I did my Googles.
Guess what he said to me though? He's like, under Apple, like I said, under Apple, is Apple the law?
They're not the city of Toronto bylaw.
They're not the city. But guess what? He literally intimidated me. He's like, if you can't put on your face mask, then I have to ask you to leave the store. And my dad, guess what? My dad finally parked the car, came in, he goes, what's going on here? And my dad, because my dad's a mosquito kid. He's like, what the hell's going on here? What's going on here? And I'm like, Abba, they're saying that if I don't put on a face mask, what's on your face? If that's not a face mask, what's on your face? And he goes, sir, try to tell my dad to calm down, okay? My dad goes, this is what I said, we're buying a $3,000 laptop. You can tell me to calm down? I'm giving you money and this is how you expect me? He goes, I never seen that in my life, okay? It's like, I've never seen such idioticness. My dad looked at me, he said, please, Abba, just go to the car. Just go to the car, I'll handle it. Anyways, I ended up going to the car. I saw my dad come back with the laptop and he put it under his arm, so pissed. I never seen my dad walk so fast. But the point is that I was so shocked that I experienced that kind of obvious discrimination because I never experienced to that degree. It's like it gets turned up, guys. Like I really felt like Niqaab turned the thing all the way up.
Wow, gubbe.
Like you're on fire and you're looking at him like, damn, y'all hate us that much? Is that serious? Like you really have beef with us like that?
For no reason.
And then I just felt like, damn, I'm in a fight. Every day I'm like fighting. And it really peeled my eyes. And it's funny because like Tima, you experience this a lot.
Fight every day.
Yo,
you know what it is though?
Yeah.
When I'm fighting, it's when I'm quiet. Like one time I was on the bus and I remember that one I didn't, most of the time I don't record, you know?
Yeah.
So I was on the bus, Dixon.
Yep.
Special bus ride. So this guy comes to me, he's a Caucasian man and I'm in the shelter. He's in the line and he's waiting. So I come and I'm going towards the bus. So he's now behind me because he went back in the shelter. So I wait in the line. I come onto the bus. He's coming on after me. And he was already had issue with me before. Like prior to that, he was already yelling derogatory terms, B word, F word, all of that. I said to him, I wasn't even talking. Actually, I went on the bus. And then he came right behind me and pushed me to the pole. He said, and mind you, what drink? Starbucks. That's an arm and a leg, fam. $6 went down the toilet. I said, are you dumb, are you? I said, you got the wrong girl. You know me in my backpack. I tightened that up. I said, the whole bus is getting a shower. Wallahi. I said, are you guys crazy? And mind you, the whole bus was watching this for 15 minutes.
Yeah, they won't say nothing.
I'm cutting it short.
You're going
I'm
back and forth for 15 minutes.
I'm not answering him. I had my AirPods in. That's $3 already. And I thought it was going to help me, but it didn't help me. This guy, he went held onto the bus and all you see is my chest. I'm like, whoa, this guy's a little brave. And I said, sir, I told you, do not put your hands on me. You could talk all day, but I will put my hands back. Yeah. I'm not these girls outside. I don't know what you watch on TV, but I'll put my hands on you. I said, I don't know, you watching too much movies. Like documentaries, I'm not sure. And also, the only reason why I'm doing this is because you can do it to somebody else. Yes. That's just exactly like you. And you have to let him know. That's not allowed.
That's not allowed.
I'm 5'7". This guy was what? We had to say weight class. He's 5'6". You know them? So I pushed that guy to the pool.
You pushed him?
I said, no,
as you should.
You
touched me, fam.
Are you crazy?
Yeah, like I pushed him hard. I said, first of all, I'm a basketball player. I already go to the gym, number one. Number two, I'm always doing weight room. Why are you touching me? Don't put your hands on me, period.
They messed with the wrong girl.
Yeah, point blank,
You're going to learn today.
I said, do you know, my little brother, he's only a year younger than me. He said, what street? That's it. That's how easy it is for me. I said, are you guys? And when my drink fell, I'm not going to lie, you tears. I lost $6.75.
Plus tax.
And plus, you know, when you're a student, you're going everywhere.
That's all you can survive on. Sometimes it's just that $6 you can afford that day.
And all I did was I gave them a tissue paper. I said, wipe your guys' selves. I said, she's like, oh my gosh, you wet me. And I said, you watched it. Might as well, you should have helped, sweetie. You should have helped. You would have never been raining.
You know what's so funny? So there's been a couple of incidences where you were either recording on your phone, right? I would like there was one that you posted on Instagram where a girl.
It was on TikTok. Actually blew up on that one was a big one.
It blew up on TikTok, and I remember you were telling me that a few like brothers from the city, religious brothers, called you saying, "Don't worry, sis, you know, like they saw the video, you know."
Punks, I'm telling you right now,
they were
punks. Everybody's on. I was on a bear. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a transit girl. You see TTC? I paid their bills. So when I was on the bus, and people always say this excuse of, "Oh, you're on the transit." No, baby girl. Or whatever, brother. It's everywhere. Yeah. Walmart, I got
Facts.
it. Yeah. Roots, I got it from walking with Yusra. We got barred in downtown. You know how we have the long jabab and it literally cleans the floors of Toronto, fam? Yeah. So the guy, what did he do? He pushed me hard onto the shoulder, and they came after my friend after. No. And I said, don't do that to me right now. I looked at Yusra, and Yusra's like, yo, did that guy brush you? I said, fam, I dislocated his shoulder. And you know, you have to use street smart. You have to use street smart. That guy could knock me out.
Yeah.
I knew that moment. You need to bow down.
Sometimes you just gotta give it up.
But
Like, yeah, you got this.
No. I'm not even kidding you. I have to use street smart all the time. You're gonna have to use it.
Yeah, there's some people you can go toe to toes, and some people you gotta leave and be like, I gotta charge that one to the game.
Yeah. But that lady that went viral was because she said Muslim whore.
She called you
and
Muslim whore.
People were very like aggravated. Like, why is she?
She was vulgar. She was very vulgar.
Yeah, she's like, you Muslim. No, but the whole time, this goes on for 30 minutes plus. This lady's like, you stupid, uneducated girl. Da, 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 da. And I said, girl, you don't even know me.
You know my favorite comment in that reel though? You said to her that was fire.
Oh, because she said, what did she say to me? She said,
why do you wear that?
She said, why do you wear? No, she didn't say why you wear that. She said, you're covered. Or something like that, right?
Yeah, something like that.
She just said, why are you wearing that? Look at you, you're covered.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, but yours by force though. Trudeau made you do that. And mine is what? Fi sabilillah.
You know what? You said once, she goes, don't do that. What did you say to me? This is what? You said this is chiffon.
That's another story. I was walking in my hood, matter of fact.
Yeah.
Okay, just minding my business. Walking down the street, and some lady, she was kind of walking ahead of me, and she kind of looked back, like, I guess she was trying to think she's better than me. I don't know. She looked back and she was like, oh, now we all have to dress like you.
Oh, wow.
Baby girl, this is Korean chiffon. You're wearing polyester from Dollarama. Don't ever disrespect me.
And Ahmed Taylor, an arm and a leg, fam. 180 pounds. Like,
I paid good money for this. This is breathable. You can't breathe, my girl. What are you talking about?
No acne.
Yeah. I ain't got no acne too. Don't hate.
Don't try us.
No, but you know, and that's the thing though. I love the distinction because we're not the same.
Yeah.
No,
I'm really not the same.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I talk back all the time. He says, go back to your country. I say, pay my airfare, fam. I have no problem even going to Somalia. I have no problem. Saudi Arabia, bring me anywhere. Pay my airfare. I want VIP seats.
No problem. I'm trying to go right now.
First class.
He's like, you poor girl. And I said, you're on the bus with me. Like, you're poor and I'm poor. At this point, what's the beef? Like,
no, but at least you're doing it very creative. You know, you're gonna talk back.
No, I don't get upset.
You have to make people feel
I got
dumb.
really upset when it was women that were Muslim. That's what hurt me. But people outside, I play around with them. I don't take you serious. Like, but yeah, I don't take you serious. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
I don't know you. You're not coming home with me.
Yeah, they're definitely not, and they don't understand. You know, and it's just it is what it is. But I really appreciate like the sisters that fight this because you know you guys like I don't know if people really comprehend the fight that niqabis are outside, not even just niqabi hijabi, or the fight that's going on outside. And so this is.
But I have to say though, sometimes people do fight on your behalf. Like I think like only one time when I've worn niqab that I've ever been like publicly discriminated against. I was going to get my driver's license. And if you've been trying to get your driver's license during COVID, you know it's the most ridiculous wait.
It is hard.
So I was in a 3-hour line, and you bond with the people around you in line. And so when I had gotten closer to the front, one of the women in the drive test center, she comes outside and she does a similar thing that what happened to you at the Apple store. She says, "Are you wearing a mask under that?" Right? And obviously, I want to get my license. I'm not going to fight. So she said, put a mask on. I put the mask on underneath.
I've been like, for 3 hours.
I said, I've been here already for 2.5 hours. I am not getting kicked out of this line. So I just like snuck it underneath my niqab. And then when I got to the front of the line, right, the lady comes again and checks in the line. And she says, what are you doing here? And I said, what do you mean? She's like, you're not at the front. She's like, go back. Right?
Subhanallah.
And I'm just kind of confused. And I said, like, what do you mean? Like, this is my spot in the line. There are hundreds of people in this line. There's no way I can bud somebody. Right? And then she's like, no, I remember. She's like, I saw you in the back, head to the back. Right? She starts yelling at me. Right? And then I didn't even begin to get in a fight with her. Everyone around me starts screaming. I was shocked. Everyone around me.
They're real ones.
Right? And none of them were Muslims, by the way. Right, the woman who like screamed the most in my defense. She had come with like her 16-year-old daughter. They were like white, blonde hair, blue-eyed women, right?
Yeah.
And she was screaming. And everyone immediately starts saying, "You're discriminating against her. Why are you doing this?" So everyone's like, "She didn't skip the line. She's like, you have a problem. She doesn't have a problem. Don't talk to her like that." Right?
I love that.
And like I like to point out, right, is that it's just like it is like. Those people had spent a couple hours beside me, right? And so, like, they spent a couple of hours beside me. They say, we're going to make the same jokes, you know, we're going to run away from getting stung by bees together. Like, we're going to hang out, right? Yeah. And then, you know, I feel like those are the moments, and it kind of sucks because, you know, like if it would have been random strangers on a bus and people who hadn't been talking to you for 3 hours, you don't know if they would have come to your defense like that.
Oh, no, they don't.
Right? But it's like, it's not necessary for you to get to know me in order to make me a human and humanize me, right? But in those moments, obviously, when people do see you as a person and they recognize you're human, when the discrimination's obvious, you know, it's nice to see that people will say something. They will do something. Will be like, that's not acceptable. Like, you can't behave like that. You can't speak to this person like that, right? And that they're willing to, like, people started pulling out their phones.
They're going to start recording, right?
Right?
Guys, I really don't want to be on 6 Buzz. You know, I don't participate in no drama.
I told them, I'm
Me
good.
too, I'm like that.
I'm scared of being recorded.
Oh, no, I'm low-key. You ain't catching me. I'm quick. I'm very quick.
No, but
you're saying both of them.
You know, and those moments make me think, you know, people do have the capacity to accept us the way that we are. And I feel like sometimes it's just the fact that for so long, people who are not us keep talking about us and keep saying what we're like and who we are and what we stand for and whether or not they like us or not, right? But people need to break that. Like, it's childish, it's silly. It's like you said, like, this is 2022. Are you guys really thinking that a piece of fabric is suddenly going to make me substantially different as a human being? Like, am I subhuman for wearing it? Right?
Yeah.
Do I become an object of, like, disdain?
Yeah.
Right?
You know, it's because of also, and this is a great segue into it, the way that the media depicts women who wear face veils in particular. If you guys notice, anything that's happening in the Muslim world, I swear, even non-Muslim world, if there's something to do with tragedy, hurricane, there's a Niqaabi woman. Why? Why is it always a Niqaabi woman?
Yeah, you're right.
Every time it's a Niqaabi, and you know, there's a lot of us that wear hijab.
Or even the beginning of COVID, like, how many of those, like, weird, like, articles had Niqaabi
on the bus? I seen a little ad.
Yeah. It's bizarre. It's really, really bizarre, but the media is really trying to push one agenda, which is that the
Niqab
women
is negative.
And the Niqab is negative. You know, because the reality is that because Niqab is like, and the Western world, as Sophia said, is 1%. It's easy to gang up on that small minority subgroup in a Muslim community, right?
And it's like Fatima said too, right? When we don't receive support from our Muslim sisters from the way we behave, that's a sliding slope. Like,
and ones that wear it just like you.
Yeah, if they're gonna come after me and the way I dress as a Muslim, I said, sis, they're gonna come after, you know, the nurse who wants to wear a skirt in the hospital, not pants. They're gonna come after, like, the teacher who wears a hijab, right?
Absolutely.
And say you shouldn't be wearing that here. It's all the same.
Because the reality is that this is hijab. Your hijab that you wear, jilbab is hijab, the niqab is hijab. These are all hijabs.
All different expressions.
And it's a journey.
Same thing.
And the thing is, they all represent the same thing.
Islam.
That's why it's big that women need to be under. You know, I really believe that women need to be in code. You know, when it comes to, because if they're beefing us in niqab, I promise you they're beefing you too. It's just about to happen, and it happened
And it's
already.
cowardice. It's cowardice. It's the fact that they're always coming after Muslim women.
Always.
Always.
So Muslim women should not come after other Muslim women that are struggling just like you.
And that's why it's important for us to uplift each other, right? But it's become like, guys,
It's like no, I'm not gonna lie to you. It felt like a competition. It's like I was wearing this, and why are you wearing it? As if I was some like person that was with a really bad past.
yeah.
Mind you, I'm a honor roll student that stays home, fam.
Yeah.
My dad passed away at a young age. I'm just a regular kid. I was just minding my business. So why are you making me seem like I need to do this in order to get that? You can wear it. Allah allowed me. He's gonna allow you.
But this is also a stereotype that women who wear niqab, and this comes back to the topic stereotype. Then women that wear niqab are judgmental.
Yeah, very.
Right, they're judgmental. They're self-righteous, and they live every day discussing, talking ish about women who don't wear hijab or women who don't wear proper hijab. The women do this and that and the third. And in reality, like when I didn't wear like a niqab or like even just jilbab, and people would talk about how like women in Mestre are judgmental. I used to ask them, I say, because they would say, "Oh, Adar, you're not judgmental though. Like that's not you." And I say, "Okay, but can you point out the person that is?" Like I would say, like sometimes I think this is shadowy.
Yeah, where's the name, fam?
Yeah,
like, what book are you reading? Because I want to know the book you're reading.
No, I realized that like there's this shaitan is playing games with people.
So
Because he's trying to disunify us, right? So he'll whisper in your ear and say, he'll say to you, "Oh, you see that sister, the one that's giving you the side eye? Yeah, she doesn't like you because of your hijab.
You know why?
Or your lack of.
Your lack of. She's judging you. Look at her. She thinks you're lower than her." Even though that the conversation has never really happened. Even, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say that doesn't happen. There are
because arrogant people are arrogant, but they're arrogant whether they wear hijab.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point. You need to say that again.
It has nothing to do with actual niqab. There's no an arrogant person like
the character.
Yeah,
Of the
It has to
person.
do with your heart.
The character.
It has to do with your heart, and you can't tell what's in someone's heart based on what they're wearing.
Yeah,
It's because people put you on a pedestal.
Yeah.
yeah.
And they say, like, you're perfect. So you must be looking down upon me because I'm not perfect.
But that's a tactic from
Where
shaitan.
it's like, fam, I'm shadow boxing my nuffs in the corner right now. What are you talking about?
Wallahi,
I'm trying to survive right now. I'm not worried about you, sis. I love you.
Oh my! Can I tell
don't
you?
hate you.
You know how many days I'll be in my room thinking, "Yo, I'm such a bad Muslim. Adar, you're fake representing this niqab. Well, you don't even like. You know how many times like I'm in my own personal beef with myself.
We all do.
But you know like. It doesn't change. Like I again, this is all like this stereotype and perception that wallahi shaitan's an intelligent and like highly equipped. You know, like
and he's coming from all angles.
Yeah, because at that time you're like, maybe for example, if you're not drinking, you're not smoking, like things like that, you're not doing so the shaitan will like make you focus on other things, you know, like look down on other people. That's one of the traps of shaitan, like because
even shaitan will call you, say, "Look, you're a niqabi." Like, you look down at people, like you're better than these people. He'll call you, you know, and make you think you're something.
You have to really be careful.
And you'll find it even between niqabis, like other niqabis will police.
Oh yeah, why is your eyebrow showing? I got that too. Like, why is your eyebrow showing? Why are you wearing that one? I said, girl, it's a style. Are you gonna buy me one?
Not even that. It's my like. First of all, like, why are we policing each other? Right. That's the thing, right? And this comes to the topic of hijab is a journey, right? Everyone's starting from somewhere.
You can't say that, girl.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Apparently, I can't say that. But
they ate me on Twitter.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
It's hijab a journey.
It sure is.
Why is it a journey?
Everything's a journey in this life. No one wakes up perfect. No one wakes up. First of all, perfection is not even a thing. We're human. But no one wakes up one day and says, "Come out your mama's womb with a niqab." It's not a thing.
For real.
Just like learning is a journey. Everything else. First of all, we're going back to Allah. That's a journey.
It is a journey.
Is that not?
It is.
Did everyone grow up perfect and doing what they're supposed to do?
No.
Everyone has a jahiliyyah, right?
Yeah.
We're all sinful, fam.
We're all sinful. So for you to say, brothers, God bless y'all.
No.
Certain brothers, because some brothers were offending me. I'm not gonna lie. Some
Yeah.
of them were holding me down, but a lot of brothers were like, "What are you talking about?" One of them had the nerve to say, "Man, because if hijab was legislated on us, we would have just wore it. Like, I don't know what's the issue."
So why y'all wearing Nike fleeces then? What's up with that?
No, because it's not even an issue with that. But listen, how you gonna say, fam? Muslims are struggling with everything. Some people can't even pray.
Yeah, subhanAllah.
Some people are struggling with salah, and you're talking about a hijab.
Yeah, subhanAllah.
And it's not legislated upon you, brother. You could talk about the hijab, no issue. But to talk about someone's journey with it,
or struggle, amplify their struggle.
right?
Yeah.
I can't talk about the beard.
Yeah.
Man, that's like me coming up and talking about some. Yeah, man, it took me years to connect my beard, man. Real talk, like, it took an issue. I took use a couple oils.
Yeah.
It took me a while.
It's just, to me, it makes no sense, right? When we look back on any of our individual journeys and how we've grown in this religion, point me to a person who, didn't know how to pray and then prayed all 5 prayers perfectly, just like in terms of their internal worship, their external worship, the pillars, the sunnah. Like, nobody does that. We grow. Right.
If you're not going to encourage the person and say, do the right thing, wear the hijab, sister. If you're not going to encourage that sister, brother, leave her alone, because that's not on you. And because the sisters were coming at me too. Oh, you're the reason why these girls are going to do the tabarruj out here. You're encouraging them. How did I encourage them? I just said it's a struggle. It's a journey.
What's tabarruj?
Tabarruj is a wanton display of beauty.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Because some people will use that word wrong. They'll say,
I got it before. From my Crocs.
Yeah, they see Fatima her Crocs on.
I was going to Quran class. I don't think you remember, but I don't think you heard the sister Ismail. Ismail was with me, and the girl's like, "That's tabarruj. That's tabarruj." I said, "Fam, these are Crocs, $50." Like, I'm confused.
Your Crocs are tabarruj?
No, I said spell it, sis. That's what I said to her. I said spell it. Can you even spell the word? Why are you coming at me?
But it's shoes.
That's what I said.
But it's not an accessory. Like, it's shoes.
Understand.
It's something that you have to wear to go out. Okay, guys, listen. There's a lot of miscommunication. But one thing that...
And we can argue
and we can
that
argue
is not beautification. Crocs are kind of not cute.
And that's the thing, right? But you see, that's a debate, right? These are grades of area. But can I tell you something that really grinds my gears? When brothers comment about hijab and they don't even show their Islam on their bodies.
Oh, that's
brother. The way you can dissect what women wear concerns me. Lower your gaze.
But even that, you don't even wear a thobe. You don't even wear a kufi outside. I can't even see your Islam. Like, okay, today everybody knows that if a sister walks around outside, there's a high possibility she's going to get jumped, right? There's a possibility she's going to be discriminated. So if that's the case, as a Muslim man, I'd be like, I want my sisters to know I'm outside with them, and that nothing should happen to you because I'm going to let you know that I'm there. So I'm going to start wearing a thobe. I'm going to start wearing a kufi. I'm going to start saying Assalamu alaikum. I might just slightly let you know you're outside, you're safe.
I'm going to let my beard grow longer than fashionable.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna let everyone know because my sister is outside showing her Islam, and I think it's important to show mine as well, to show solidarity, because what is it outside? It's a fight outside. It's a fight outside
every day.
And that's the thing, though. If you don't actively participate in showing your visible Islam, I need you not to critique Muslim women that it's wajib upon them to show their Islam outside their bodies, and it's difficult. Like, this is the thing, guys. Muslim women are in the biggest fight of their lives. We are in
Repeat
the biggest
sis, because they need to
fight
know.
of our lives. Look at India, who's preventing women from getting an education. Look at France, who's preventing women from getting an education. Look at Quebec, who's preventing women from getting an education. Look at Belgium, that prevents Muslim women from getting a job. It pisses me off because we're all realizing, damn, we're in a fight. We're in a fight, and then you have these side comments of critique.
And that's not even niqab.
And that's just hijab. And the thing is that the Muslim Ummah is extremely divided. But that's exactly where we failing. Absolutely. That's why women are being attacked. And so I want to add this element of critique because I think it's so important to say that when I was studying about the black family in America, and the destruction of the black family, something that I learned that I thought was so fascinating was that the white supremacists, the colonial era, they used to look at a black family and say, how am I going to destroy this group of people? And they intentionally said, the only way to destroy a family is to destroy the woman. Was to attack the woman, was to break her, humiliate her. So that was going to cause the destruction of a community. The reality is, there's a reason why the Prophet ﷺ, his last sermon was about women. Because women are the honor of a nation. They are the honor of a community. And if they are down bad, there's no success. There's no success. And so if Muslim women are the symbolic symbol of this religion, and we are being attacked, do you not see what's going on?
And where are we supposed to go? Like, when I'm traveling, who am I supposed to go? Call my brother every second? You need to show that you're visibly Muslim. Yeah. I've seen men watch me. I see men record me, but no one gets up and says, stop.
Defend you.
Yeah.
And you are Muslim. These are Muslims on the bus visibly. Like, you can see because you can tell.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but, like, you'll know when someone's Muslim,
Yeah.
Toronto.
But even if it's not obvious, at the end of the day, like, I just need brothers and sisters to be on code, bro. that right now Muslim women are in the biggest fight of their lives. I need less critiquing and more supporting.
Yeah.
Because some of us are literally on the verge of taking the entire thing off. And the reality is that I'm not angry with her because I understand where she's getting. She's getting it from the beauty standards. She's getting it from her community. She's getting it from the outside the community. We're getting it from everywhere. This attack's happening within ourselves, our mental health. Yeah. There's so many things that we're dealing with, right? And we're trying. We are trying. The girl that you're critiquing and that's showing the baby hairs is trying. She is trying. And so, like, do you want to, like, it's another 2 hours. Do you want to beat a horse when it's down? Or do you want to support and empower a person?
And people don't understand, right? That sister is fighting on the inside because she's trying to do it for the sake of Allah. And other people want to insert themselves between Allah and that person. Insert themselves in the relationship that person has with Allah. And say, you're like this, you're like that. Why do you spend the effort about speaking about someone you do not know? You don't know their reality. You don't know their level on the side of Allah. And it makes me so sad sometimes that there's this perception of, like, you know, you're a sister, you're a teenager, you're in your 20s, you're in your 30s, you never wore hijab, you're never going to be pious, you're never going to be righteous. I said, we don't know the end result of any person, right? The person that you disparage, that you insult, that you put down, right? That sister easily could be someone at one point you would want them to remember you favorably in Jannah. You would need them to do that for you, right? But instead of seeing that every single Muslim I come across, I want them to be my friend, to be my ally, right? To be someone who remembers me and makes dua for me, that thinks about me and says a good word about me. But instead, you're going to create enmity between each other?
SubhanAllah. It's just like, this topic is so frustrating because I realize that, like, misogyny is misogyny. Yeah. All across the board. You know, You'll find people who have issue with women. You know, you'll find people who have issue in all cultures and all backgrounds and all religions. Right? In reality, it's a wrong thing. It's
oppression. It's oppression.
It's a form of oppression, right? And the reality is that, SubhanAllah, like, hijab, let's not forget, is an act of ibadah. Yeah. It's a worship. And, like, you know how uncomfortable it is for me to critique somebody's ibadah? Like, you know, their personal ibadah? Especially if it's not in a capacity of education. Like, if we're not in a class, you know, like, there's not a private consulting happening. With people just throwing off opinions and shaming people and discussing people they don't know. And SubhanAllah, you have no idea what their private lives are about. You don't know what they're doing to even have that cloth on top of their head. You don't even know what they're doing to keep it on. The poor, like, you don't even know. You know, like, the only reason why I wore hijab was because I recognized it was a command from Allah, but the women around me supported me. Right. They told me, you look beautiful in Hadr. It's okay. Like, if you're struggling, don't worry, you'll get there. You'll get there. Don't worry, you'll get this. How can I help you? Buying me things. I remember when I wore niqab, you sort of got me one from her house. She said, I got you here. Like, I didn't even ask you to do that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But, like, that's how we're supposed to support each other. And even when we're down bad, we don't throw each other away. We don't say, oh, you're a throwaway. You're not a throwaway. You know what I'm saying? Like, sorry.
You still matter.
You know, and that's what's important, right? It's that, like, and I want my listeners to know this too, right?
And to use wisdom.
If you're struggling by yourself.
I feel like people don't know how to speak
on that.
Yeah.
And they just hurt you with their words and they think, oh, this girl, she's always every day going to be wearing this. But it's like, Iman fluctuates. Yeah. Today I might be wearing it. Tomorrow I might be looking at somebody else on Instagram and I want to be like them. You really don't know.
You don't know. Well, and you know what's so crazy? There's some listeners that messaged me in the DMs and who don't yet wear hijab. They're not even Muslims yet. Like, they say, oh, I'm thinking about Islam. You know, my only access to Sisterhood in 2 women is his podcast. You know, and like I'm trying to set the reality. You know, like I didn't get here in my hijab because I'm like anything of a like spectacular person. I got here for the mercy of Allah. You know, He's inspired it in me. You know, it's a thing. Like, you know, like,
and that mercy is equally accessible to every single sister.
That's very important.
Every single sister.
Don't lose hope.
And always support each other. I don't get it. What does it do for you? Like,
it doesn't take nothing off my back to
you can get a girl a jilbab. You can get her a niqab. What's the problem?
If she's struggling, it's okay.
Tell her she's beautiful.
Tell her you're going to get there. You're going to get there. It's fine, sis. Don't stop calling her. Don't start inviting her to places.
And make a dua for her.
Make dua for her in your private. In private. Treat her no different. Yeah. No different. Don't treat her any different.
She's human. She's a slave of Allah. She deserves your kindness. She deserves your compassion. She deserves to feel like you are my sister regardless. You keep trying, I'm going to keep helping you try.
And I got you.
I keep trying, you're going to keep helping me try.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. I'm not trying to get to my end goal of meeting Allah and I lost you along the way.
I want you to
You
come
lost
with me.
me. We lost ourselves. Like how does that help? Like, honestly, ask yourself the question when you're around people, do you want other people to lose? Like, are we really understanding what losing means? Why would you want that for anybody? Right? Oh, and when we're coming to people and we're advising them, we're really thinking, let me help one more person get to Jannah. Maybe I need them to get to Jannah so they can take me out of hell. Like, you don't know who these people are. You don't know who they are in the sight of Allah.
You don't know.
And that's the important thing. You really don't know them.
You might say something that you think is not important or you thought it was a side comment. And you come on the day of judgment and Allah asks you about that.
And you ruined yourself.
And that person goes and makes sujood
makes
against you.
dua against you.
And complains about you to Allah.
Be careful.
Be careful.
You don't know
that's
what
the
your
worst
words
one.
mean to people. You got to really be careful what you say to people, whether it be online or offline, because people think they could say stuff online and it's all good. It's just social media.
It doesn't
it's
count.
not that serious.
It doesn't exist.
Your angels are still there.
SubhanAllah.
You think your angels just cut all the shit on Twitter, so it's all good? No, they're still there and they're still recording what you're saying. So be careful, because you would not say that to that person if you seen them.
You wouldn't.
In person. You literally, the things people were saying, it's like, fam, if I see you on the roads, you would literally cross the street because you're a coward.
Yeah.
You're a coward.
I don't think people understand, right?
Yeah.
The one thing you preserve, you don't touch another person's honor. You don't mess with someone's honor. You don't disrespect their honor, right? That's something that's preserved, that's sanctified in our Sharia, right? And people think, like, the comments that they make about women, right? Either women themselves, men, right? Your sister, if she's doing less than perfect in your sight, why are you going to go after her honor? Why are you going to discuss and make her feel like she doesn't have that dignity? She does inherently. She's a Muslim, right? She's a human being. Right? Respect and preserve that honor. Have that sister understand that you have it. You can do whatever you want to increase it by trying for the sake of Allah. Right? And you remind her that trying for the sake of Allah is just what increases you on honor. But nobody can take it away from you. Allah gave it to you.
Yeah, I like that part. No one. So what's the point of beefing?
Yeah.
Leave us alone. Call it a night. Go to bed.
I think it's just work on yourself. Worry about yourself.
Yeah, just worry. Nafsi, fam.
Yeah,
Do that.
worry about yourself. So I want us to segue into a new topic, and I'm excited for this topic because I think it's a little bit spicy. The topic is marriage, and the reason why I want to talk about marriage is because I know it's a little bit nuanced with women who wear niqab. Okay, so a little bit nuanced, and it adds a little bit to the stereotype too. Because one stereotype I get is that women who wear niqab are really beautiful. Like, it's like this thing like
Or really ugly.
Oh, yeah.
There's no in between.
Yeah, it's either you're really beautiful or you're really ugly.
Sometimes
I heard
we just have faces.
Yeah,
That's all.
I heard a horrific story once, many years back, where a sister who wore a niqab and she was getting to know her brother, and the brother saw his face and he said, "I'm not interested." Like he saw what she looked like, and he was like, even though attraction is important, but just the idea of revealing your face,
So vulnerable.
and then you're vulnerable, and then somebody rejects you based on how you look. Just instantly, he's like, yeah, like it's not it.
Piece of advice: be a little bit
But
more subtle than that.
I would say, alhamdulillah, you are Nate. You're not for me, fam. Then no. Because I know I break the scales. I don't really need you to tell me.
Period.
We applying pressure, okay? That's all we do.
The thing, but it was a thing I never forgot, and I was like, oh my god, could I deal with this kind of grand reveal and stuff? So let me ask you guys, how was your experience and in pursuit of marriage, and obviously wearing niqab? Is it easy, harder?
First of all, you're pigeonholed to deal with only one type of person, which is the student of knowledge.
Oh,
Which
that
is
lifestyle.
cool. Don't get me wrong, it's cool. But the deen is not the only thing that you should look for.
yeah.
There's character that gets involved, right?
Yeah.
And so that's when the table starts shaking.
There's compatibility, lifestyle.
That character is serious.
Yeah.
That character is something serious, right?
Yeah.
So, that's all the other guys. They kind of see you. They might be kind of interested because they see, you have a personality or whatever. But it's like, because then there's a thing of perfection, right?
Yeah.
This girl's too good for me. She too. I remember this brother literally said to me, "Man, I don't like religious girls."
What?
You said that around me. I'm like, first of all, are you subbing me? Because you got freaking stars in your eyes, brother. Why are you subbing me?
Yeah.
You know, but how do you know I'm religious? What if I'm just a 9 to 5 Muslim? Regular.
In a niqab?
In a niqab.
Yeah.
What if I think it's wajib and I don't think I'm doing anything extra? I'm just literally doing what Allah told me to do. But you think that I'm religious, quote unquote, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a student of knowledge as well. You think because I wear niqab, I'm also a student of knowledge.
Yeah.
Which is that's not every niqabi.
Yeah.
Maybe she just wants to just do her wajibats and keep it moving.
Yeah.
So
are you saying that like the only guys that are interested in you is the ones that are really like are students of knowledge?
Right.
And you're saying like I'm available for anyone that like might be an engineer and praises 5 and you know the thing is that like you're right. I do believe that like religious women can be intimidating to a lot of people, right? Especially if you feel like you're not where you need to be. I guess you might feel embarrassed if she starts because it's kind of they're shy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like today if I sit with a righteous like a scholar, I would be shy a little bit, you know, and I would be like, oh, let me not embarrass myself in front of this scholar. And I think sometimes it could be innocent the way that they look at you, but I can see why it could be limiting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But sometimes you want that. Can I speak on that?
Yeah, tell me.
I think a part of the reason why I started wearing niqab, I felt it more in my 20s was because I didn't like the way some men would speak to me. I didn't like the fact that, you know, I'm relatively friendly. You know, I have the ability to carry a conversation with people. It's not hard for me. And so I didn't like the fact that sometimes if I gave you a piece of attention, you wanted more. And you wanted to like, I'll be blunt. I didn't like it when men would flirt with me. I felt it was out of pocket. I felt it was out of hand. And I felt like I wasn't looking for that. Right. And so particularly, you know, in my first couple of years of my 20s, I would get frustrated. It's like the older I got, the less I wanted to be around men because, particularly Muslim men, because there's a subtext. The only reason we're speaking is because there's a subtext. I'm not speaking to you for marriage. I'm just speaking to you.
Just living my life.
Just living my life, trying to get work done, right? Like if you're around me at work, at school, whatever, I'm not your friend. I'm gonna be real, brother. I'm not your friend, right? and for me, it was just like I didn't like free mixing.
Yeah.
And I'm a part of the real reason why I put on the niqab. I don't like free mixing, and I feel like people think sometimes, like, you know, your average Muslim girl, if she's around, she's available, and she's at a certain age, if she's single, I'm free to mix with her, right? I'm free to, like, you know, like, it's like hit on her.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. And for me, essentially, niqab actually acted as a veil between me and you. Yeah. This is a partition between us, right? Like, you're not going to try to say something to get me to smile. You won't see me smile.
I might smile, I'm not gonna lie.
Right? You can't tell. Thank you.
You can kind of tell with the eyes.
When you're smizing and stuff.
Yeah. But for me, it was just like, you know what? When I first put it on, I said, I don't know how long I'm going to keep this on. May Allah just allow me to keep it on as long as I can. But at this stage of life, I actually don't want people to see my face.
Like that power.
I want that distance. I like that distance, right? I like the fact that you see me and now you're confused to what to say, right?
Yeah.
You don't know how to act, right? And so if you're going to act with caution. Right. And for me, like, I enjoyed that. And I know some sisters, it's the opposite experience. Like, you know, like you're trying to find a spouse, you know, you want people, particularly like the person who's in front of you in that manner, to give you a certain amount of attention. But for me, I just didn't want it. I just didn't want it. And I knew, like, you know, you're going to like my face regardless if you can see it. But
Period.
I just didn't want you in my face if I didn't want you around me.
Yeah,
right? And I know what I like. I know what I want. I can see it from far away. So I don't know why you need to approach me if I don't want to be approached.
But can I add something though, Sophia? There are some men, when they see a niqabi, they think this is the person I can approach for marriage.
Yeah.
You know, like you are more, you know.
Thank God for COVID. I've been home too much.
Like you're gonna help me in my deen.
Yeah, you're gonna help me. Like I find that like niqabis can experience a lot of marriage proposals, and then I find some niqabis say they don't receive any, right? And it's funny because like I remember this conversation Yusuf and I had. And I really thought about this. And one thing you told me about was how sometimes wearing a niqab, you can feel forgotten.
Yeah, invisible.
Yeah. Tell me about that.
I feel like brothers see you, but they don't see you. You know, it's obvious because you're covered, but it's like, I don't even want to look at you for marriage. because I don't see you. So like you're not there. Like I gotta see your face first. I'm like, bro, if you want to talk for marriage, you can see my face.
Yeah.
But it's like you're not even a contender.
You're not a contender because they
I
can't see you.
I don't know if you're beautiful or not. I'm gambling.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Which beauty is not the only thing you should marry a woman for. You should marry her for religion, but that's another thing, right? But you can have that access to a girl, but you just have to be willing to. You're blocking your own blessings, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you want that girl to support you in deen and all these things. But it's like you want Beyonce in a niqab. Like you gotta fix.
No, these men are dreaming.
Like,
no, I'm not gonna
Greenville,
lie.
I North Carolina.
I got issues with sisters. I was in a room one time. I think I told you this, Yusra. You know, I tell Yusra everything. But I was in a room one time, and basically, I got this many times, actually, when I started wearing niqab. How you going to get married? Like, how you going to get married like that? Yeah. Like, how you dress? Like, how you going to... It was more of, like, not genuine. It was like...
Hate.
Yeah, it was like, you, like that. Like, you can't get no guys. I said,
there's no pull.
I said, I pull them niggas covered. Head to toe, sweetie. He only sees my eyes, and he says, I want that girl. So I said, what's the problem? She left the room. She's like, oh. I said, yeah, leave. What's the point? I don't get it. What's the point of that?
It's a misconception about like women who wear veils.
Yeah, you don't get no proposals. You're never going to get married, or you are married.
Yeah. That's what it is. No in
it's
between.
like, oh, I can't come to you. And I said, I'm married. How do you know I'm married? He's like, oh, that's what you
I
wear.
thought every Niqaabi was married.
Yeah.
You know what?
The subtle implication that a man's making you put this on.
Yes.
Talk about it, sis.
Talk about it, because that's the reality. A lot of this comes to the same rhetoric I'm tired of. It's you wore that because a man told you to wear, or you're wearing it by force.
Yeah, or a pass.
Every single thing, hijab, jilbab, niqab. Every time there's this presumption that for whatever reason,
we wear
a man is factoring into my calculus of why I'm wearing what I'm wearing.
We were wearing it because we're wearing it for them. They're the ones that, and that's the
thing people don't understand. Islam liberates me from that. Yeah. My calculus for how I am dressing and what I am putting on, I'm thinking about Allah.
Yeah.
I am not thinking about, what anyone thinks about me at that moment. I'm not thinking about, I want to look better than that sister right there. Or like, I want to look good so I have that guy's attention. I'm not thinking about anybody. I'm thinking about myself and Allah.
Yeah.
Right?
Because that's what...
and that's why it's freeing to me. That's why I loved it. I said the more I cover it up, the less I actually think about other people and how I'm dressing, the less I care, the less I'm concerned with it, right? My presentation, how I'm showing up in the world is the way I want to show up in front of Allah on the Day of Judgment. Like, I don't want to be there and not be clothed and not be honored, right? I want to be there and be clothed and be honored, and show up as someone who worships Allah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show up like that in my daily life.
Yeah. And I'm not going to lie, like, I never thought about marriage at all when I wore the niqab. It was never, again, like Sophia said, for me, it was about like my relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But like, I started to like wonder, I was like, oh, like there's all of these layers that come with it and stereotypes, obviously. And like, I feel like this podcast is destroying stereotypes fast, very fast, because obviously you're hearing the opinions of women who wear all types of hijab, and who don't wear hijab, and they're Muslim women. They're telling you like how they feel and what they're going through. Listen, hijab, alhamdulillah, Sophia says, it removes the importance of it. But there is also repercussions, like as we're talking about, where how certain people see you and how some people interact with you. And regardless, alhamdulillah, hijab has so much honor and respect, and you're always going to get that. I mean, for the most time, you're going to always get that honor and respect.
I've seen different experiences with the niqab. I've seen some brothers, they definitely want a niqabi and they're not even practicing at all. Like
those are my favorite.
I had a sister. I had a sister
Those are my
who was
favorite.
wearing a niqab, everything, Quran class, everything, and like she got married and the husband didn't even pray, and she asked him like, why did you marry me? And he said, because I know niqabis are obedient and I want an obedient wife.
Oh, this guy is tripping.
That was one. Another
stereotype.
Another situation was during like the courting of marriage phase. Like sometimes you attract like crazy extremist people. Like, I want a Salafi wife. I want this is like
that's gonna live in a basement and never see broad daylight, right?
Yeah, like one brother said that to me. I'm like, but I'm not Salafi. I just follow the way of the Salaf. But I'm not
which is all the same thing, really.
Yeah, it is.
Like, y'all confusing
but
everything.
like, yeah, sorry.
But I got something similar.
Yeah, but then also there's good experiences sometimes in when you are covered up. You do attract good, quality, God-fearing men, and a lot of sisters do have that, alhamdulillah. And there is such thing. So you see the good and the bad. But you just have to remain yeah.
So it's harder and easy. It's similar, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's no different than women who wear hijabs experiences.
But I really believe making dua. Like if marriage is an important part of that's your legacy. You need to make dua. It's not something that just a man just comes out the door, like at the window. You need to like wake up in the last third of the night and ask Allah to provide you a spouse, a zawj salih, like a good righteous spouse who will be a good leader to your kids and all that. So when you make that dua, Allah just brings different like people to you out of nowhere, like without you even doing no work, sometimes. So
what's that dua Ma'ala Aisha taught us?
She taught us, she said, Allahumma rizqni zawj salih wa yuhibbuna yuhibba. I'm not saying proper, but she's like, oh Allah, grant me a righteous spouse who will love me and I will love him back. And then also there's Quranic supplications. So there's so many du'as that you can make, and that's sometimes a lot of girls, I noticed that they're too shy away from that. They're like, oh no, I'll do that later on. No, sometimes you need to do, like Maryam alayhi salam's mom made du'a for, a righteous child before even Maryam and Isa alayhi salam came. Yeah. So like if you're thinking about like if you're just thinking about now, you're gonna get those kind of results. But if you're thinking about your legacy, like many, like 20, 30 years, like generations to come, and you want a righteous family that's submitting to Allah and worshipping Allah, you need to make dua for that. And like you will come across like different people, but I feel like Allah will bring the right person for you at that time. So sisters that say I don't have access to like good people, like just wake up in the last third of the night and make dua for that companion, because that's your legacy.
Okay, but I want to add on to the marriage, the hot topic.
Yes.
Meher. Yes. I don't know about you, but I got something that was, when I put on the niqab, that's when I heard it. Before, I'm not gonna lie to you, when I didn't wear niqab, I never heard this type of stuff. So I was in the courting phase, and this brother said, so your meher, was it gonna be a book? I said, am I Matilda? Am I Matilda from, so I'm trying to like, and this brother, you know what he said? He's like, no, it's an Islamic book. And I said, yo, my girl Hilal is Toronto Public Library for Muslims. Why'd I need you? Like for free, fam. And I was shocked, and I backpack, be the backpack. I picked it up and cut. I said, you the wrong brother. I'm sorry, but how are you telling me my own meher, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed me to choose?
Yes.
And then I said, when a guy forces the question, didn't even ask questions, said a statement, yeah, bye. Ma salama. I don't know what girl you're marrying, it ain't me.
But it's this presumption idea that because you wear niqab and you're righteous,
and you don't want a wedding. I got that too. You don't want a wedding. And I said, whoa, this is the second meeting.
Assumptions.
Yeah,
so many assumptions.
Like you only want the Quran and a mattress, and that's it. Like you're good with that. Which, by the way, some women are comfortable with being right at that. But it's the assumption that every niqab.
No, but even Tamir. Like I heard Tamir, and I said, yo, I could go to North Frills.
Tamir as a man?
Yeah, like 3 Tamirs. And I said,
bye.
Am I like, is there something? I said, I'm wearing Canada Goose. Is that Tamir money? Like, that is not Tamir money. You better
look up how much that
costs.
costs.
And it even tells you the status of a woman, of what she is. You're going to have to maintain it. Yeah. Right? So if she is somebody who uses her money and buys whatever she wants, you're going to have to be able to maintain that, right?
Yeah. I mean,
but you can make it easy. Yeah. But the thing is, people are running it down like your Staples easy button. Like that easy, like click, boom, she's going to submit to me. And I said, and I understand, and honestly, I'm not gonna. A lot of women compromise when it comes to marriage. A lot. Yeah. So why are you doing it, making it so difficult? How many girls compromise their wedding? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like how many girls compromise they didn't even have a wedding. Yeah. A lot of girls didn't even have it. And I said, yo, brother, we're actually very nice. You're doing way too much now. I know you work a full-time job. Why are you trying to make me seem like...
trying to take advantage.
Yeah.
And there's this presumption, bro. There's a lot.
There's a lot. We can write a book on it. I'm not even going to... I think I should produce one.
I'm waiting for that.
You know what? Well, inshallah, if we ever do a part 4, we'll have you release that book.
No, not part 4.
But what was I going to say? I think we're heading to the end of our conversation. So I have a few questions for you guys that I want to ask you before we close the podcast episode. My first question to you guys is, first one I have written down here is, who are your role models? Pause. I know the story is getting so good, but wait, I have a message for you that you're going to want to hear, okay? Have you been looking for an opportunity to reconnect your faith by building a relationship with the Quran, or even learning Quranic Arabic, or even getting your questions answered about different rulings? Well, let me tell you, the Ribat Academic Institute is an online program that provides traditional Islamic education for women by women. Yes, you heard me right. Islamic education for women by women. Yes, all the courses are taught by female scholars. Allahumma barik. You have a choice from over 50 courses ranging from Seerah to tajweed, to fiqh and hadith. You can even take in classes like the 99 names of Allah, or purifying the heart, or the reflections from the Quran, and the lessons from the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as well as a mentorship matters program on how to guide and support and help others. Ribat's online classes have been reconnecting Muslim women from all around the world with their faith and helping them reclaim their traditionally held leadership roles in Islamic scholarship, mentorship, and community care. All classes are held live online and recordings are posted after class. And the courses, guys, the courses are affordable. They're not expensive at all. They also provide country discounts and scholarships are available. Scholarships are available. So there's no reason why you shouldn't sign up. So if you're interested, visit Rabata, that's RABATA.info/TDS and register today.
Oh, that's a good one.
Who are they?
You can go from the right.
And me? Okay. My first role model, I don't want to say any particular mother of the believers. I feel like all the Sahabiyat in general are my role models. But specifically Aisha, because she was so smart. May Allah be pleased with her.
I mean,
she was very smart. You know, and she would school the other Sahabis, you know, and let them know she was the first scholar.
Yeah, she was.
The first martyr was a woman as well, a black woman, Sumayya, right? She's another big one that really inspired me. Yeah. But that's one. Also, I wanted to say that was one of my reasons for wanting to wear niqab. Yeah, was the mother of the believers wore it, so I want to wear it as well because they are my biggest role models.
You know, guys. You know, I think about the ayah of like jilbab when I think about it. And how it talked about how as soon as they heard it, they took any fabric, like a fabric, and they put it over themselves as soon as they heard it. You know, like if I, inshallah, make it to Jannah, I want to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a playback of that scene. Allah. Like, what did it look like? You know, like when they clothed themselves. I just want to know what that looks like. You know, like, subhanAllah, it sounds so beautiful that women you know, and they clothe themselves. And, you know, we all have, like, we know the descriptions of what they look like, you know, and how they wear their hijab. And it's really, really, really beautiful. And that's the same for me. Like, they're my role models because they are the best of us. You know, they're the best of us. And I want to dress how they dress because they understood it the best. You know, like in terms of like hijab, they understood it the best. And so obviously you want to mimic their understanding of hijab, right? Because they wore it during that time. And so, yeah, I agree with you. That's definitely my role models as well. Who else is your role models?
They point at each other.
You don't have his role models, man? Tima, you don't have role models?
That's a really good answer. But after that answer, obviously, no.
That's all of our role models?
Yeah,
that's all of our role models?
Definitely my mother. She really pushed me. And she's not somebody who praises, which I love that about her. She definitely put me on to the hijab game. Yeah, and the religion, she told me, I remember one time I was always wondering, like, why is my mom not praising me? You know, all these kids out here, they're saying Allahumma barak. And you know what mom said? I was in the living room one time and she said to a habiyar, and she said, when a child or a person, when they want the religion, it is better because they're gonna chase it themselves. She's like, when people are around them, they can fall off. But when somebody wants it, she's like, that's why I don't baby me.
We can see that see that.
For me, I would have the same answer as Yusra, but to add to that, I would say Ma'ala Aisha. I really love her for the sake of Allah. She, anytime I see other females like older that are like striving and that are showing the way, being a mother, like holding on to the deen, teaching in such a beautiful, graceful way, I admire that. Like Sister Tamia, Sister Maryam Al-Huda Institute. My grandmother is a really big, important role model in my life. She always instilled faith, even if she didn't have as much Islamic knowledge, but she always instilled faith. And yeah, those are my role models.
Amazing, mashallah. May Allah bless all of our role models and increase them in good. My next question for you guys is, how has covering or wearing hijab increased your faith?
Oh, skyrocket.
How has it increased?
It's a heavy question.
It's like, heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I look in the mirror, I get happy.
Yeah.
And it reminds me, keep going, you know? Like you're literally Allah's servant.
Yeah.
Like when you see a person dressed like that, like that's bila shak, like that person's a Muslim, like, you know?
Yeah.
So it helps me because I always used to say like salah and niqab are connected so much.
Yeah. They are, subhanAllah.
Because say you're outside, you're doing your thing or whatever, right? Time of salah comes in. If you're not dressed properly, more than likely you're probably not even gonna pray. Like, man, I am not even dressed properly. Yeah. You know? So those two really helped me a lot to realize who I am, you know, that I'm a Muslim first, and I'm proud of that. You're not going to make me not feel proud about that. I am, alhamdulillah. So every time I look in the mirror, I remember that. Every time I take cute selfie, you know, I remember that.
Absolutely.
You know, for me, I feel like hijab, jilbab, niqab, whichever, they all represent different points of my journey. So I feel like, you know, when I wore hijab, it was just really an expression of, I want to be closer to Allah. I want to be the Muslim who prays. I want to be someone who worships Allah. It became easy because it was common sense. Like, this is what I'm here to do. Let me do it. You know, and I feel like jilbab became for me like an expression of just love. The fact that I loved this deen, I loved my prayer. Like, I entered Islam and it touched me. And so I wanted to do something more, you know, just from that place of like real love. And I feel like niqab came in my life at a time where I felt low. I felt like, you know, I could feel myself slipping away from, like, you know, one of the best iman highs that I ever was in. And I was trying to like almost stop my descent, right? But sometimes you have to go through those ups and downs. Yeah. But for me, it was just like, you know, who says if I'm going down, I can't bring something up with me? Like, why can't I implement something good in my life that I've never done before at a bad time? Like, who's to say that it's not possible? And for me, it's just like, okay, you know, other things I used to be good at, maybe they're harder now. But I have something I've never done before, and I'm going to keep doing it. Right? And I feel like, you know, it doesn't matter where you're at. The highs, the lows, everything in between, right? There's a time and place to wear whatever it is that you need to wear for the sake of Allah. You know, to express that form of worship in whatever way.
And just remember your end goal. It's not the people, it's your creator. You're trying to please Allah.
Yeah. In the race of that. You know, like for me, for example, when I wore jilbab is because I was at my highest iman. Even like wearing niqab, I was at a really good place. And so when you're in a good place, you just want to, and you're close to Allah, you just want to get better. You want to increase it. Like, you just want to keep climbing up this ladder. And I always saw hijab like a spectrum that gets better. Like, it's like modesty for me is like it gets better. There's always ways you can increase.
Every form of worship, it gets better.
It gets better. And when you love hijab, you just want to keep adding to it. You're like, okay, because I always saw niqab and there's more after that. You know what I'm saying? However that may look like, but I always wanted to increase, and obviously that reflects my iman, right? Wallahi, it reminds me of Allah. Every day that I wear niqab, I'm reminded of Allah. Every day I wear hijab, it reminds me of Allah. Literally, I cannot forget it. I cannot forget that I'm a Muslim. I cannot forget that Allah is watching me. I'm always conscious. And so because you're conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're able to keep like that remembrance, right? If I sin, I feel guilty, I repent. You know what I'm saying? Like I think the whole key is to be conscious of Allah. Do things that remind you of Allah. If that's hijab, there's so many things. But hijab is like
every good thing we do comes from that place of taqwa.
You're walking that way.
Being conscious of Allah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you also recognize that like you are a carrier of this faith. You know, like hijab makes me realize that like I'm visible. Like when people see me, they see Islam. And so it always reminds me to be the best. Like, guys, every assignment, every group project, every stranger I meet, I'm always thinking either you're a Muslim, you might be the first Muslim they've ever met. Or like, you know, represent this faith, which is a lot of pressure, by the way. It's a lot of pressure. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure, but wallahi, it just pushes me forward. And so I always think either like really be kind, really like do things that the Prophet ﷺ emulate his character. You know what I'm saying? You never know. And I've said this on the podcast before. The best form of da'wah is just action, your behavior, kindness. How you move, how you
that's
talk.
Actually how I put on jilbab. Was a girl just walking.
Really?
Yeah, I was in Dubai and she was walking. I said, whoa. And she was in the same hotel I was in. She took it off and said, whoa, this girl's beauty. 10 out of 10. And then she put it back on and she's like, oh, you know where I asked her, I said, hey, what is this? Like, what are you wearing? Yeah. And she's like, oh, it's called the jilbab. You want me to show you? And she basically like showed me where she got it from. And then that's how I bought it.
But what attracted you about it was the way that she was wearing
carried herself.
She carried herself.
And the respect she got. Yeah. Like, lie to you, no man was moving to her. Like, she had like everybody, stores will like move away.
Yeah. Like the queen that she is.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
They open doors for you, matter of fact.
100%.
I don't know about Toronto, but
no, they open my doors. I mean, I'm gonna stand there until you open it.
Yeah, 100%. You know, even like it's just people just know who you are and what you believe in.
Yes.
Like when I went to New York, bro. First of all, I think New York City is a Muslim country. I
absolutely.
refuse to believe that that's not a Muslim country.
Straight Muslim
Every
country.
day I heard Assalamu alaikum. You know, and like it was so nice. I was just like, wow. It's just, oh my God. It's just, it feels.
Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out
Islam
to
is
Queens.
beautiful.
Islam is such a beautiful religion. Like, I don't know how to convince anybody else, but this religion is just immaculate and it's incredible, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it. I'm glad Allah chose me to be Muslim, and I'm glad may Allah continue to guide me, you know what I'm saying, and guide all of us.
You know what a teacher, Ma'ana Aisha, actually said? I'm just going to quote her real quick. I remember I had a bad day and I was traveling, and she said, she gave a reminder at the end of the Quran class, and she said, oh, you know, out of all those people that you're in school with or on the bus, Allah gave you Iman. And she's like, remember that. And then every time I was always traveling, I always remember, I'm like, you know what? Allah favored me. Why am I complaining? I just put on my earphones, call it a day.
take
the
L
L.
shoving.
Sometimes you take an L.
Yeah, your Starbucks spilling. It's like, that's fine. It's okay.
fine.
Have Iman.
Have Iman.
Have Iman.
And that's something that is very hard, man.
It's very hard. May Allah protect you, Fatima. Honestly, like you literally inspire me because I know you go through a lot. But
Girl, we all do.
I know we all do.
We
all do. But I've never seen somebody get physically as much as you have.
Daily.
You know, like daily.
daily.
Most women like.
Oh yeah, the bus, the bag, the backpack.
You are the
Are
only
you stealing my
person-
backpack?
And there must be more of us. But like the only person I've ever heard say, yeah, I got physically assaulted.
Oh yeah, bare times. But the thing is, I'm always saying W. You're never touching me, man. I'm gonna make sure you get
I
it.
love that for you. May Allah protect you
I
always.
mean, and read your adhkar, number one, guys.
Yes.
Don't let that go.
Put your trust
Leave
in
your
Allah.
house.
Yeah, leave your house,
Make
read
sure.
your adhkar.
Keeps you protected.
And do istighfar.
Stay 10
Yeah.
toes down. You hear me?
Absolutely.
First of all, let's learn some karate or something, because they call us ninjas anyway.
yeah, but you know we.
Okay.
You know,
Martial
Martial
arts
arts. We need to
ninjas.
learn martial arts.
Listen, we. Hey,
absolute boxing. Why don't we do a boxing class? We should all be getting into
I
boxing.
want to learn how to fly kick.
Like,
Because when I learn how to fly kick, it's over for y'all. Touch team around me.
well, first of all, that's so funny. Cause we all need to learn to fly kick.
Yeah, like fam, because they really think we're weak, right?
Yeah, they do.
So when I pull out these moves, right?
They're not gonna ever
It's
try
over
you.
With
for
a
you.
jelly, you're done, fam.
Jeez.
No, I'm telling you. So my next question for you guys is, how have a companion or a friend supported you? And what does support look like to you? Those two
Oh, I
questions.
know what support looked like.
What does support look like?
For me, actually, it was you guys.
Right. Same people in the day.
Yeah.
Sisterhood, right?
Yeah, sisterhood, and obviously you guys. You guys came. Isman, I'm not gonna cry, but she is number one. Lambarak. She made sure. I remember I was going to a Quran area,
Yeah.
and she made sure I got a ride. She's like, that's near my job. Come. And she'll be like, don't worry, don't leave your house. I'm gonna pick you up. And then she'll pick me up. She'll make sure that it was like a Uber fam.
Yeah.
And then Adar would always, I don't think you remember, but she's the one who actually said, don't give up. Don't worry about them. They're waste suits, basically. I'm just kind of short. And Yusra's a shopping mall. That's all I can say. Like, she was always providing stuff.
Yeah.
She said, oh, I remember, you don't know, but I used to wear the same jilly. And people used to be like, why you wear the same jilly? I said, you don't have Tide?
How do you
You don't have a wash cream?
How do they know you're wearing the same jilly though?
Time it was.
Because they're praying.
You know them ones when it's just dead. It was dying. It was. I knew myself, but it was my favorite one. It wasn't like I never had it. I had color, I had green. It was my favorite black one, and it was the first jilbab I wore. And I never let it go. And that was the one that was trying to get roasted. Like, your pants is showing?
Yeah.
Like, Urks, my you. Like, why are you talking to me?
So you wore it because
I just loved it. I just loved it. And it will remind me, like, you put it on this day. And I don't know the date.
No, I remember
like,
your day, fam. Because you literally told me, you asked me about Niqabi. You're like, oh, that's fire.
oh,
And
yeah,
then
I did
you're
it in her
like-
house. I took the credit card. I said, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, and then you're like, you know what? If I wear it, I'm never going to take it off. And you never took it off.
Yeah.
Tell me about
Oh
it.
yeah, she because and also what I would say is, like, when you're around people that's wearing what you're wearing,
Yeah.
it's gonna remind you.
Yeah.
It makes it easier.
Yeah, it's
Oh
like
my
if you're gonna
gosh.
fall off. Oh, Fatima, I didn't see you with gloves this week. Like, what's going on? Oh, your niqab. What's going on? You don't want to wear it anymore? Why are you wearing a mask? You know, like, people are gonna ask you, and they're gonna know that you're falling off a little bit, and they're gonna help you up.
Yeah, and then from a compassionate place, not
Yeah,
just mental.
yes.
compassionate
No.
place.
'Cause
Oh,
both
definitely.
happen.
Yeah,
No haters down here.
No haters
Not
down
my
here.
group.
What does support look like to you, Sophia?
My mom, Hoya Ba'an.
Oh,
That's what support looks like, you know? When I wanted to wear my hijab, who else rolled out the same day and got me everything I needed to cover, you know? When I wanted to wear a jilbab, right? My mom didn't even wear it at the time, right? And she's the one who said, I know a place. I'll find it for you. But I was 14. I had no idea where to look, you know? And she's like, I'll get you some, you know? And she always comes with like packages of stuff that I need. And so, you know, doesn't matter how I'm dressing. My mom was always supportive. She's like, I'll get you whatever you need to feel beautiful and to
She's
do
a real
what you
one.
want to do.
MashaAllah.
Allahumma barak. MashaAllah. May Allah preserve your mom.
So mother's love is all the support I need.
Absolutely.
Allahumma
Absolutely.
Support looks like sisterhood. Wallahi, having sisterhood is one of the most, like, alhamdulillah for that. There's many sisters that Allah placed in my life, and alhamdulillah for them. First, like, being with Adar and her supporting me, and Hilal, especially Hilal, like, literally she taught me my adhkars because I didn't know how to read adhkars. She taught me alif ba ta. I didn't know how to read alif ba ta. Hilal will make sure that I read the Quran and I listen to her and correct my tajweed. She's like, we're not leaving here today until you get the tajweed in your grilled in your brain. Like, she would say things like that. So, and there's times that when your iman is low and you just sometimes you don't even want to talk about the deen because you're just like, and just talking about other life and uplifting you, and that's what support is, like unconditional love, you know. And alhamdulillah for that. And I hope like every sister gets that type of friendship.
I mean,
I feel like it's a luxury to be around that because not a lot of sisters get that opportunity, and I hope that they do get the opportunity.
And make dua. That's what
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can have a lonely year.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me. But I bounced back. I got bare people. But
Yeah.
I kept them on fingers though.
Yeah. But subhanAllah, that's the, like, whenever anybody asks me, how can I get, like, people DM us on the podcast and they'll say, how do you guys get, like, sisterhood like yours or, like, the ones that you keep sharing? I said, listen, it's just like, they're out there. They're out there. There's so many of good people out there. It's just, it starts with dua. You know, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring those people into your life, right? Well, alhamdulillah, like, this podcast is allowed to bring some of it to you and make it accessible. But wallahi, good people are out there. It's just about making dua.
and you have to show up in good places.
and show up.
And keep showing up even when you're tired and you're not seeing what you're looking for. Just keep showing up.
Yeah.
And also just saying salam alaikum.
yeah.
You know, that's how I met sisters too. Just
Yeah.
talking to them.
Yeah, everyone. I was a welcome door. Part of the reason why I was at the welcome door at KBW is because I think I was looking to make friends.
You were
So I was making, like, I put myself at the front of the door.
you were like the receptionist.
No, but I loved it.
Take a seat, real quick.
Honestly, wallahi, I literally was merciful about, like, I was not playing about it. Because, like, alhamdulillah, Allah had slowly was giving it to me, but there are always new people you can always meet. And I love the saying when people say, you haven't met all the people that's going to love you yet. You know, and that you're going to love. You haven't met them yet. Like, you haven't met everyone. And so it just gets me excited because I believe that all my friendships teach me something. They better me as my character. And when somebody always says, oh, Ada, you seem like such a great person, I said, it's a reflection of my friendships. You know, Mike, if you see good in my character, it's a reflection of my parents. It's a reflection of the women around me. They add to my, you know, they teach me, they correct me, they better me. You know what I mean? It's not just all me. I can't take all that credit. You know what I'm saying? And so,
But you need to applaud yourself though. I'm not even kidding. You think you don't do nothing. That's a problem.
yeah.
Sometimes you think, oh, I didn't do nothing, but you can make somebody remember something you said to them.
Yeah.
You would remember the car ride and you
Yeah.
said, don't do that.
Yeah. And it's just
you, fam.
you know, wallahi, like, I just want Allah to be pleased with me. So, and I know that, like, He loves mercy. And so I just want to be a person that is, like, merciful and kind to people. I just want to be a sister, yo. I just want to be, everyone's friend. Something, I just want to be everyone's friend.
Yeah, family.
I just want to be everyone's friend,
Everybody
bro.
always wants titles. Like, I just want to be
I just wanna be your friend, my
Sister's keeper.
Yes, that's it. And, like, there's nothing more beautiful than sisterhood. If I keep it a
Literally.
buck, there's nothing more
That's
beautiful.
that's like a medicine.
Wallahi,
if you're
it
going
is.
through hard times,
Even if you need a
literally.
job, yo, come, I'm working here.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Or like when you're in, bro, I went to Paris and I didn't know what I was gonna do, and I met two Muslim sisters that took me all over Paris. They held my wrists. The sister, I will take you wherever you need to go, and they spoke French, right? So they were helping me. I was chilling. Wallahi, they took me to the museum. I met them in the streets. Wallahi, for Allah's sake, they befriended us and they said, sister, wallahi, we'll help you guys. Come. And I met them 5 minutes. Wallahi, it was under the banner of Islam that we did that for one another. And wallahi, sisterhood is the most beautiful thing and most miraculous thing ever when it's done properly, when it's done right with good intention and for His sake. You know what I'm saying? So my last question to you guys is, what advice can you give to sisters who might be struggling with hijab or who might be thinking about wearing a niqab? What advice would you give them?
Okay, I'll start. Don't give up. That's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that to myself when I was younger. If I could, I would say, don't give up, girl. They're not going to be here. There's no bunk beds in the grave. Don't worry about these people. You know what I'm saying? So
SubhanAllah,
just don't give up and know that there's sisters here. Just ask. You know, you probably don't know me and I'm on a podcast. DM me. Says we could be friends. We could be sisters. Don't worry. Don't worry about people. Don't give up. Because you are going to meet Allah. And you want a house near him. Ask Allah. Because nobody is going to be there. When you're on the day of judgment, it's you and Allah. So ask Allah to make it easy for you.
Absolutely.
I would say it starts with your mentality. First of all, how do you think of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Do you have good thoughts about Allah? Okay. You know Allah is the most merciful. You know Allah is the best supporter. So ask his support. Ask for his support. If you know I'm doing something to please him at the end of the day, then that's where you begin. And don't think, oh, Allah's going to neglect me. This is going to happen to me. I won't get this. No, I think good of my Lord. So I'm going to do something that come close to come closer to him. And I know he's going to reward me on the day of judgment, right? This dunya is so short. We all know how short this dunya is. So wallahi, that's what I always tell myself. Like, listen, you're doing this for Allah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with you. If you have Allah, who do you need?
No one.
Nobody.
No,
Real
straight
talk.
up.
Who do you need?
Nobody.
Right?
Wallahi.
All you need is Allah. He sees you when you're by yourself. He sees you when you're outside. Why are you worried?
And he hears you.
And why are you so worried? Everyone else is chilling in the dunya, but the Muslim is worried. Does that make sense?
No.
And you're supposed to be the most confident in your deen. Don't be worried, beloved. Keep going. Just wear it. Wallahi, just wear it.
I want to add to that. It's also about yaqeen. I remember one of the surahs I was reading is Surah Taha, and how Musa alayhi salam's mother just threw her son into a river. She just trusted Allah, and she knew how small he was and you know when a mother's relationship when she first gives birth is very fragile.
Yeah.
It's very vulnerable. And then how Ibrahim alayhi salam, فَلَمَّا بَلَغَ, he said Safat, he was about to kill his son. The yaqeen he has with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to trust Allah that much. And us, we need to trust Allah. You know, I'd be fighting, but I know Allah's there.
Yeah.
He could bring down everything.
Mm-hmm.
So trust him.
I think recognizing that it's a blessing. I think sometimes we see and we speak of the hardship, but truly it is a blessing. You know, before doing the episode, I was reflecting on an ayah of the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, Ya bani Adam, qad anzalna alaykum libasan. Oh, children of Adam, I have sent down upon you clothes. And it's in Surah Al-A'raf. And that phrase of Allah sending down something upon us. You know, what does Allah send down except blessings? He sent down the Quran. He sent down rain. You know, he sent down the decree. You know, everything that Allah sends down to us comes from his mercy. And so we got this, right? The things that we have on our back that cover us from the cold, you know, that honor us in the sight of Allah as a blessing from him, you know, and that's a blessing that continues into the next life. You know, we hear descriptions about Jannah, and a part of the descriptions and the beauty of Jannah is what we wear, right? And sometimes I think, you know, we think of like beauty and fashion and like what we look like and all of that, but it's just a blessing from Allah, you know? And if we, you know, we treat the blessing with respect, right? And we're grateful to Allah for what he's given us and he increases us because of that gratitude. Don't think that, you know, me covering in this dunya, you know, it just brings me hardship. It brings you honor in this life and it brings you honor in the next life. You know, Allah, if you clothe yourself for the sake of Allah with a sincere intention, that Allah will clothe you on the day of judgment, that Allah will clothe you in Jannah. You know, you're going to see that this thing that I'm wearing is a gift. It's a gift. Allah has sent it down upon me and it's made my life better. It's enriched me. You know, it's brought light into my life. You know, that's for me. It's just like, why would anyone want to deny themselves a blessing? Why would anyone want to deny themselves, you know, a gift that's sent down from Allah? You have to see it as a gift. You know, just appreciate that gift.
She didn't have to go like that.
Wow, that was beautiful.
I really like
so hard.
now. I want to be her. I already did, but like,
Mic drop.
About it.
Well, Yusra and Fatima, Safiya said already best. That was beautiful. Just to add to it, I would say start with baby steps. So
That's very important.
baby steps, yeah. So start with your salah. Try to perfect your salah. Even if salah is really hard for you, at least, try try at least one salah, like fajr, and every day be consistent. And then, inshallah, make sure you work to pray all your 5 salawats. And also learn the meaning of the Quran. If you don't know Arabic, try to learn the meaning of the Quran in whatever language you know, and fall in love with the Quran. So you fall in love with the Quran and you fall in love with the salah, like everything else will come easy. And you just love the hijab, and whatever journey you're at, whether it's hijab, jilbab, niqab, everything will just come easy together. But first, perfecting your salah and really focusing on that, and then focusing on the Quran, falling in love with the Quran. You just fall in love with Allah, and whatever Allah wants, you're just gonna do, because you love Allah and you want that connection. And once you do that, you're gonna be at a different state of mind that like nothing else in this dunya matters, and you're doing this to please Allah and get His pleasure. So after that, wallahi, everything else will come easy, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. Honestly, it all starts with knowledge. When you learn about Allah and when you know Him, it's very difficult not to fall in love with Him. And when you fall in love with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you love Him more than anything, you want to do whatever. Like He asks, it's easy to obey Him because you love Him. And so in order to love Him, you have to know Him. And so I will always say, like, just learn first. And they always say, like, if you want to, like, I've heard of advice of an imam. We said, well, if you're struggling with hijab, then what you need to focus on is your salah. If you perfect your salah, hijab becomes easy. Which is what you sort of said. It's like they're connected, and I don't think people how connected it is. Definitely I would say that, but also really dua, like ask Allah, because it started with me dua, sincerely asking Allah for help. Allah, please,
That's how it begins.
I really want to understand. And mind you, like I didn't know much, like I didn't know any of you guys, like what I know now is wild. What I didn't know then, I had no idea. I just simply had this deep desire to get to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so I asked from Him and He gave to me. He gave to me so fast. And until today, like I always say, like the dua I can say, I can say with my chest and sincerely was accepted was that one. Because literally in 3 months I was like fast track running, and alhamdulillah, wallahi, and it started with dua. So definitely, if you're struggling with hijab, just make dua, show up in salah. Like I promise you, things are going to change. Yeah. And don't be ashamed to struggle.
And just accept the gift.
Yeah.
Take the gift. Allah placed it right in front of you.
Yeah.
Take it.
And I wanted to add, I forgot to mention earlier, like aside from doing all that, if you fall back, don't lose hope. Like still, like if you fall 10 times back, just get up and try again. Don't think, oh my God, I didn't pray my salah today. Forget about the rest of my salah. I'm just a bad Muslim. I'm nothing. That's the traps of the shaitan. So whenever you fall back 10 times, just get back up and just strive. Just make tawbah, pray 2 rak'ah, ask Allah to forgive you, and just keep it pushing. Don't let other people, whatever they say, or don't even let your own internal battles, take you away from that track and that pursuit of trying to get into Jannah, because it's a difficult one, but it's a worthwhile one.
And also talk to us. We're trying to go together. It's not one person. We're all trying to go together. So talk to us. If you're falling, let us know.
Yeah.
We're
a worldwide sisterhood, okay?
Exactly.
The podcast.
Ask your neighbors. Ask your friends.
Absolutely.
I feel like sometimes we get shy with that, and it's like, why we need to be shy with our faith?
Yeah. Well, because sometimes it could be, like, I dealt with that too, like feeling embarrassed of where you're at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it can feel like that humiliation, but like, it's not necessary.
Yeah. Something beautiful one of my teachers had said. He'd said, guilt will not allow you to succeed.
Subhanallah.
He said that feeling of guilt that people have sometimes with regards to aspects of your religion, he's like, if you think that guilt is going to make you pray, if guilt is going to make you memorize the Quran if you haven't, guilt is going to make you learn Arabic, guilt is going to make you cover up, it's not. It's love.
Oh,
you
and
have
discipline.
to approach worship. First and foremost, what's the center of worship? It is love.
Love.
Right? You have to approach anything that you want to do from the sake of Allah, genuinely loving that thing.
And if you don't love it, make dua. Ask Allah to put that love in your heart for it.
That's it. That's it. And you have to know that, okay, what's the purpose? What's the point of guilt? The point of guilt is to recognize, hey, I'm not doing the best I can. Let me ask Allah for forgiveness. That's where you have to leave guilt. after the point you've asked Allah for forgiveness and you've made an effort, leave guilt behind. Guilt cannot carry you forward. You can't always be thinking, I did this wrong, I did that wrong, I was never good enough for this, I can't achieve that, I have this many flaws. SubhanAllah.
What did
You'll
Allah
never
say?
be anywhere.
You're never going to be anything. Allah's not expecting perfection from us.
No,
Because He would have replaced us if we weren't sinful.
Exactly.
Right? What is expected from us is to come with a sincere intention.
Striving.
That sincere intention, Allah will reward you greater than what you ever did with your efforts. And a part of building that intention comes from love.
Yeah.
Love it. Love what you're doing. Say, I'm doing this because I love this religion. I love my Lord. I love being a Muslim. I just want to be with those I love in the best way possible.
I'm trying to be with the Sahabas, like Umar bin Khattab, all of them. Playing basketball, fam. Musa Ali Salam, he punched. We do boxing. Like, I'm trying to meet all of them. I want to see Nusayba's story. I want to see it live.
That's it.
And I
want to learn. I want to try.
Yeah.
Because this is worth loving. This is worth building my life around. This is worth. This is me. If I love myself too, this is me.
That's deep.
And I will say though, none of us are getting to Jannah by our own deeds.
No.
100%.
The mercy
None
Allah.
of us, and I want to repeat this, none of us are making it to Jannah just by our own deeds. Nope, that's not how you're getting in. You're getting in there by the mercy of Allah. And so like especially when you just said, Sophia, about sincere intention and striving, you're going to fall and shake in it and come back and forth and back and forth. But the whole point of it is that like you're striving and you're really trying to get there. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees you and He sees your heart. But I promise you, you're not getting to Jannah because of your deeds. You're getting in there because Allah has mercy and He understands. And so again, like it's never been about perfection. Like I'm done with this in order to be like, you have to be perfect. And it's a fallacy. It's not real. And
it's a trick. It's a trick from the tricks of shaitan.
His tactic. He's so
We can go on this. We can talk about this for hours.
His tactics. There's a book, by the way. Who read that book?
The Devil's Deceptions by Ibn Jawzi.
Everyone needs to read that because it breaks down exactly how the shaitan deceives people. And if you read his tactics, you'd be shook. You'd be like, wow, he really be knowing what he's doing.
Yeah. And the first place, he gets you from ignorance. What you don't know, if like knowledge is a light.
Wallahi it is.
Yes. Knowledge is a light.
Hidayah is a light too.
Yeah.
So don't think that you don't have to be perfect to seek knowledge.
Yeah,
you don't. You need that knowledge because you need, better for yourself. That's it.
You need to know your Lord.
You need to know.
And you need to humble yourself sometimes. I was in a class with little kids. I said, Alif Bata, yeah, that's me. I'm gonna be there. My 20-year-old self. I said, let me sit there.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you later
Don't be
on,
embarrassed.
you're gonna also love yourself for the fact that you did that.
Yeah.
The fact that
I
you
do.
sat
I do.
and you learned Alif Bata with little kids.
Yeah, I played rock, paper, scissors, everything. We're friends.
They're gonna be beautiful
Cheetos.
moments. That struggle, that effort of like, I came from nothing.
Yeah.
And Allah was with me. And Allah took me out of nothing and made me something.
Yeah.
You're gonna love those periods of
Sophia and
time.
her gems, man. This is
Yes.
Mic drop. So that is the end of our episode, ladies and gentlemen. I say gentlemen because we found out there's 12% of you guys. I just want to thank all of you sisters for joining me tonight. Jazakallah khair from the bottom of my heart. I know it isn't easy coming on a mic and being vulnerable and sharing your perspectives and your stories to so many.
You finessed me, fam. I thought there was onions. Jonathan's cutting onions. What's going on?
I really appreciate you guys for being open and vulnerable with all of us. I know the listeners are so grateful and they probably would want me to thank you on their behalf. So thank you. Jazakallah khair. May Allah reward you all for what you've shared and what you let others listen to. May Allah make it a heavy weight on your mizan.
Ameen.
That you shared what the Prophet describes as a good word. And a good word is charity. So Jazakallah khair for giving for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So thank you everyone. That is a wrap on this episode on the Niqaabi's Tell All. I don't know if that's what's going to be called, but thank you so much. Jonathan, shout out to you.
Shout out to John, man. He don't even know his name's Yahya. He don't know.
I mean. This episode is brought to you by Beautiful Light Studios. Recorded at Image Studios, Toronto. I love to give a shout out to our executive producer, Munashik Umar. This episode was incredible, sis. Thank you so much for it. I also love to give a shout out to our recording engineer, Jonathan Lillo, our podcast intern, Nima Harun, our graphic designer, our incredible, talented digital artist, Wasima Farah, our project manager, Yasmin Mohamud, and last but definitely not least, our marketing extraordinaire, Sawsan Abdillahi. If this podcast gave you value, we're leaving it up to you this year. Donate however much you feel like it gave to you. We have a big team this year that put so many hours in bringing the show to life. If you can't right now, not a problem. Please keep us in your drafts. Before I go, I got news for y'all, okay? Bismillah. So, TDS is taking a mid-season break. I know. What? Break? You just took a break. Are you kidding me? But for good reason, y'all. TDS is going on the road. We're catching miles. We're putting gas in our vehicles and we're running. So let me tell you where we're headed. We're first off to our little road trip is Minnesota. TDS is showing up at the Growth Conference happening on July 16th and 17th. You have to get your tickets, guys. You have to get your tickets. We're keynote speakers. Also, we were nominated for the podcast of the year. Like, that's crazy. Us nominated? What? Wow. I'm shook. So definitely vote for us for at the Growth Conference, bro. If you go to our Instagram page, it's in our Linktree link on our Instagram bio. Go ahead and vote. But I feel like we already won, man. To be nominated, it's incredible. Jazakallah khair to everyone that nominated us. It's so humbling to hear that. We're also showing up. We're coming to NYC, New York City / New Jersey. I guess you can say New Jersey. We're going to be in New Jersey, July 23rd. And when I tell you, like, we're showing up, I mean, the whole team is showing up to New Jersey, you guys. It's going to be, like, a huge party. We're also bringing Ustada Hilal. We're bringing Ustada Hilal with us. She's going to be at the event. So they're throwing a huge Eid celebration to celebrate in New Jersey. The tickets are being sold right now as we speak. Okay. And there's only a limited amount of tickets. So run over there, get your tickets. If you're anywhere in the neighborhood, anywhere nearby, if you're in Philly, if you're in New York, if you're in New Jersey, pull up. It's going to be a bash. It's going to be fun. As we like to say, a halal turn up, mashallah, for Eid, inshallah, on July 23rd. All the information will be on our Instagram. You can get the tickets for the Growth Conference as well as the Eid celebration happening in New Jersey in our Linktree on our Instagram page. Don't miss out. Get your tickets. My people in Minnesota, my people in New York, New Jersey, and Philly, pull up. I would love to meet you guys. And I'm so excited to come. Our mid-season break will end and will begin again in August, inshallah. First week of August, if Allah allows us, inshallah. So I will see you guys very soon in your ears, in your speakers, telling you what? Telling you a good story.